guys, so it is Sunday, October 12th, and I had my HSG on Friday, October 10th, which coincidentally this month my cycle days line up exactly with the day of the month, so I'm on cycle day 12, and I am going to put up a live OPK test from today that I just took. So just to go over my HSG, because it was definitely an experience, and I wanted just to let you guys know in case you are going to be doing one, and just as a disclosure, everyone's experience will be different, as you probably heard before, but really do take that into consideration when you hear people's stories, whether they're really scary or they're really simple and easy. So just to kind of give you an overview, I just went to my normal radiologist room, or like department, sorry, at a hospital, and I went into a normal x-ray room where you lay on like the flat bed, like the hard flat bed where they just take like normal x-rays. So it wasn't like a procedure room for like with the stirrups and stuff like you would go to at your woman doctor, but it really wasn't too bad though, the way the setup was. So basically what I did when I first got in there was I asked if my husband could come in the room with me. I just said, you know, I'd really like it if he could come in. I want to make it a point that I would really appreciate it if he could come in. So so they had to wait and ask the doctor. So in the meantime, I went in and I changed into the gown, which was from just undressed from the bottom down. And then I did that. And then when I got out, I laid on the bed, or the x-ray thing, and then the x-ray table, I should be more professional, and what she had to do first, which was a nurse assistant that was, I don't want to say nurse because I don't know her title, but she was assisting the doctor that was doing the procedure. She was really super nice and a sweet lady, and she just basically first took just a normal x-ray of my uterus area, just to, I guess they have to do that first, and she was just explaining to me, like, this is that, yada yada. So then finally she came back out after the doctor had gotten off the phone, and she was able to go get my husband since he could come in, and he had to wear like a protective like shield thing because obviously it's radiation, and then also the piece that goes over the neck just to protect him. But I was really thankful that he was able to go in, because it was just nice being able to hold his hand. And I'm sure he didn't really care if he was in there or not, but it's a guy, he's a guy, whatever, you know. So after that, like, she basically told me beforehand kind of how the procedure was going to go. So the first thing that happened was I laid down on the bed, or the surface, I'll call it, and I had to scoot to the very end so that they could clean my cervix and put the catheter in. So the first thing that was uncomfortable for me was when she was cleaning my cervix. It's basically like there's a cotton ball and then there's like a string that comes down at the bottom. I don't know exactly how that worked, but she covered it with like the brown, to me it's like brown like you see like on shows or movies where they're cleaning the area before they do surgery. That's exactly what the same stuff it was, because she told me, I just don't remember the name of it. So she did that. That was kind of uncomfortable because, you know, I'm just going to say it straight. Like, your vaginal wall is smaller, so when putting the cotton ball in, like, she couldn't, like, go in without, like, touching the sides, and that was uncomfortable for me, at least. And so the first time she did it, I kind of jumped, and she's like, oh, I'm sorry, did I hurt you? And I was like, sorry. I was like, I just wasn't ready for that. So then, like, the next couple times that she did it, it was like she was more aware that I was that sensitive, so like it wasn't so bad. And then the catheter going in, honestly, it wasn't too uncomfortable. I would probably say the speculum was more uncomfortable than putting the catheter in, which all of you ladies have probably had a speculum put in when you've had your like well woman exam yearly or every 3 years that you do it. So I didn't even feel actually the dye going in, which a lot of women say they feel that and it's uncomfortable, but I didn't feel the dye going in. So she put that in there, and then I didn't really feel the balloon being blown up either. But after that was finished, the catheter was in, the balloon was blown up, the dye was put through. I had to scoot back up on the table, and that's when I was able to hold he was like behind me, and so I'm laying down and he's behind me, and I was able to hold his hand. And he could see the monitor because it was over to the side, so all of us could see the monitor. And after that, that's when, you know, some people say they had to tilt or they didn't have to tilt from side to side so the dye would flow, but they made it sound like that was just part of the procedure, like you just had to tilt from one side to the other. So the part where I had to tilt, that part made me cramp. Like the times that I was down there and they were putting the catheter in, I did cramp a little bit, but when they were actually having me tilt from side to side, that made me cramp, and I was like squeezing his hand really tight. And the nurse was super nice. Like she just kept saying, take a long, slow, deep breaths, take slow, deep breaths. And I was like, and so I have to say, overall, that whole thing took about less than 10 minutes. I'm not even exaggerating. So it went really well. Basically, after I went side to side, that was it. She was done. She took the pictures that she needed, and then she, she basically told me, okay, we're done. And she was showing me on the screen that she's like, here's your uterus. Like, I wish I had a picture to show you, but I don't. But she's basically saying, here's your uterus. It's a normal shape. And I was like, good. Like, that's great. Like, that was the one thing I wanted to hear first of all, too, was I have a normal shaped uterus. And then she was showing me the fallopian tubes, which I wasn't expecting them to be that tiny. Like, I know, like, they're tiny, but I thought maybe on an x-ray it would show up a little bit bigger. But no, they are super duper 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 thin. But I could see them when she pointed them out, and then I could see where the dye had flown out. So that being said, everything looked great. My tubes were clear. My uterus was a normal shape. At that point, she's like, okay, you're all done. And I'm sitting here like, okay, do I get up now, or am I supposed to wait? And then the nurse basically was like, okay, you can get up now. Just go slowly, step down. And it might feel a little bit different because, whatever was in there is going to be flowing down. So, like, whatever could flow out. But I have to tell you guys, though, just in case you're, like, concerned, when I was starting the procedure, the nurse assistant, or the assistant, I should say, she basically told me, it is uncomfortable while it's in there, but as soon as it comes out, the pain goes away. So I was kind of like, really, like, I didn't hear that from other people. But once they took out the catheter, like the pressure was gone, the cramping was pretty much gone. I got up, I changed back out, and then after that, my husband and we went out to lunch, and then what did we do? We went out to lunch, and then we just did a little bit throughout the rest of the day. Nothing like super strenuous or anything, but I wasn't in a lot of pain, but it was kind of tight in my uterus area, kind of like my uterus feels like before AF starts, before the AF cramps come, just kind of like tightened, like I feel like it's gonna come. But that was really it. Honestly, I think the procedure went really well, and I'm glad it's over with. But at the same time, like, I don't really necessarily want to do that again if I can avoid it. But I have to tell you guys, though, that honestly, and I'm telling you this because I know that a lot of people are going to watch videos and be freaked out, but the cramps that I felt in there when I was having the procedure, like the worst one that I felt wasn't as bad as my worst AF cramps that I've ever felt. So it definitely wasn't comfortable. I definitely squeezed my husband's hand, but it definitely was not the worst cramps I've ever felt during AF or ovulation time. So I hope that gives some of you guys, a little bit of comfort, just knowing, of course, we're all different, but not everybody has a horror story. Not everybody cries. Not everybody has unbearable pain, but there are some women that do, and it does have to do with, sometimes, like I was told, that it has to do with if there are blockages, or just some women are, more tolerant to pain than others, and some women can't take pain, and that's completely not anyone's fault. It's just how we're made. So you may experience what I experienced. You may experience something more higher. I can't talk, apparently. You may experience more pain or less pain, but just know that it's all for a good cause. And I had numerous friends, very encouraging, like texting me and just telling me, just think about this. You're doing it for your future children. Like, it's going to be all for good. Like, nothing, you're not doing any of this for nothing. So that really helped me, just to know that, once this is over, it's good. Like, we're going to have results. So I'm just happy that is done. So once I left the doctor, I immediately called the specialist nurse because she told me, as soon as you have HSG done, give us a call and we'll set up a follow-up appointment. So I immediately called them. I left them a voicemail because they don't normally pick up. You just usually leave a message and then call them. They call you back. So the nurse called me back really quickly this time, which is a different story when I was trying to schedule my HSG because it took them forever to call me back. But she gave me a call back about 15 minutes later maybe, and I was able to schedule it, and I was just nervous that it was going to be a long wait time. But she asked me if I wanted to go to the location where I had my HSG done, or if I wanted to go to the location like near, that's actually technically near my house. And I was like, oh, I'll just, unless one has a longer wait period, I'll just go to the one near my home. So I was nervous to hear what she was going to say, and she's like, the next available appointment is Tuesday, October, I think she said, was it 14th? And I was like, what? Because that's like this coming Tuesday. And I was like, that's crazy. And it is the 14th, yeah, because today's the 12th. And I was like, I'll take it. Like, I didn't care. I was like, it's Tuesday, October 14th at 11 o'clock a.m. And I'm so excited because I'll finally just get to find out what's going to happen if this cycle doesn't work naturally. So, basically what they're going to do at that appointment, according to the paper that I was given when they mailed me like the questionnaire and everything, they kind of tell you what happens at each step. And at this appointment, they'll do a vaginal ultrasound just to check to make sure there's nothing that they can see there that they wouldn't see on an HSG, because they do different things. And then after that, they'll do like a full physical, and then they'll go over my medical history, my husband and I's medical history, and then they'll go over my results and my options of what we want to do from here. So I will definitely have an update for you guys. I'll probably record it Tuesday the 14th, but it may not go up until Wednesday possibly, but I'll try to get it up as soon as possible to keep you guys up to date. But other than that, that was my day, but it was really fulfilling. I was excited to have that done. I was excited to get my next appointment. And I'm excited because my husband's going to be able to come with me to my appointment on Tuesday. I just felt that was really important because, especially if we're going to go over results and options, I just want him to hear firsthand instead of me having to go home and tell him everything, just so it doesn't get diluted and he knows the full story. So I'm just ready for the next step, and I'm excited that it's going quickly because not this coming week when I have my appointment, but the following week we'll be going to Disneyland for our 1-year anniversary trip, and I'm just happy to know that we'll have the visits over before then, and then we'll know what's going to happen when we come back. So that's all I have for my HSG appointment video update, and I will be back with you guys to tell you more about my appointment. See you then!